So this is the library's homepage. The big search bar here is the main place that you'll be using. Without logging in, we're searching the public collection. This is over 1,000 resources that we've identified, we've added tags and subjects to, so that these resources can be easily findable. This public collection is open to everybody. This includes all the free resources that we found online. So you can share these freely with your colleagues as you search. Also, if you have any reports that you'd like your colleagues to share, please let me know, and I'd love to look at it and add it to our collection. So let's get started. I also wanted to note that the CVR library is based off the CALIO model, the Child Abuse Library Online. So if you've used that wonderful resource before, the CVR library features will look very familiar to you. And I do want to emphasize again, everything that we're looking at today is free, which is something that CALIO's librarian Muriel always reminds me. Everything we're looking at is free to you. So let's get back to the search tips. Before I actually type in my search, I usually try to start by thinking about what phrases or keywords or terms relate to my topics. It's important to identify what those words are early on so I can make sure that my search results are relevant. So for this demonstration, let's say that we want to find more articles related to the theme of the Virtual Institute. So we can start by simply typing trauma and victims. Now before I hit enter or click the search magnifying glass, just wanted to point out I typed one topic here, trauma, and a second topic here, victims. I tie them together by using and this lets the CVR library know I only want results that have both the word trauma and the word victims in them. So if a result only has trauma or only has the word victims, it shouldn't come up in my search. You don't have to capitalize it, but I like to just to note which words are connectors rather than my search terms. And if you want more information on building search terms like that, we have this library tutorial video on the right-hand side that goes more in depth talking about using and similar filters. But let's just start out simple. We just have two words connected with and we'll hit enter. And now you're inside the CVR library search results. So I usually note when I first get to this page, I notice how many search results I have. So for searching trauma and victims, I have 176 results. And as you're going through, you'll notice this list here is showing me what the database thinks is the most relevant to those terms. And there's a couple ways to get into these records. If you see a record that interests you and you want more information, you can hover using this magnifying glass on the right-hand side of a record, and that gives you a little bit more about what's actually inside this article. It has the beginning of the abstract. It lists some additional subjects which are used to let searchers know these are the main topics covered in this report. You can also add an article to a folder, which you can then find again up here at the top. If you do add a lot of records to the folder, say you want to read them later, you're just collecting a couple articles right now, you can come back to this folder before you leave this browser tab to make sure they're still there, and then from there you can read more about them. You can select all of them and then email them to yourself. Brings up a little form, and that will go to your email showing you all the information about those articles. And we'll just go back again to our search results. Okay. You can also learn more about the article by clicking on the title, and that will show you the full record. That gives you the source that you can cite. It shows you all the subject terms which are clickable, so you can actually go into a new search that's just that has all records that have these tags associated with them. And the full abstract. Also at the bottom is the URL to open the full report. So you'll see that this links outside of the Center for Victim Research Library. We're really trying to drive traffic to where all these different reports live and make them more findable by adding their links to our library. So let's go back to our search results page. So we have 176 results. We can narrow that down even further by using these filters on the left-hand side. So one that I use probably the most often is related to publication date. So you can either change the date here and hit enter after you change the date. Okay, so that limited us to 55 results. Or you can drag this timeline back. Since it's 2019, we have 20 records, and that just lets you have another fun way of playing with the dates. I'll turn it back to 2007, so we have more to play with. Also on the left-hand side, you can add some additional subject terms. So this will focus your search even more. If you want to make sure that the records include the terms trauma and victim and another term in here, you can filter it that way too. Also, if you see right away an article that looks useful, you can click on View Document. You don't have to open the record here. And that will open the record in a new page. If you see an article that you'd like to read later or share with a colleague, you can also open the record again. You can also just email an individual article right from that record page. You don't have to go to the folder. So I'll send one to myself, and you can add a subject, and then they'll receive this information with the link. Okay, are there any questions so far on searching the public collection? Okay, great. Now I'm going to log into the CVR website and show you there's a couple features that look a little bit differently when you're logged in. So I'll close these tabs. And I'm back at victimresearch.org. I'll click the Sign In button. And normally it'll pull you back to our website. As an administrator, it's just sending me to the back end. So I'm logged in now. I'm going to go back to the library. You'll notice now that the search bar and the note under the search bar say that we're searching the full collection. So the CVR Library Collection the full collection, includes both the public collection, all those open access, freely available reports and resources that live everywhere on the internet, and we're just bringing them into one place to find them. Includes all those records, all those 1,000 records, plus the subscription journals and databases and articles that are only available to subscribers. The CVR library already pays for these subscriptions for the Victim Services field, so all these resources are still free to you, and we'll talk at the end about how to register and what you need to register. So let's try our search again. Trauma and victims. So from here, you'll notice right away there are many, many, many more results. So we'll definitely want to filter our results and use these left-hand filters, or if I want to add more key terms at the top, I can. So let's add and resilience. Great. So we have a lot less than 40,000 now, which helps a lot. You'll also notice when you're logged in and you're searching the full collection, there will be some different links at the bottom of the records. And I wanted to explain what some of those were. You might see contact your CVR librarian for assistance, and if you do that, you'll come to this request form so that I'm able to find this help you find this article. There are some resources in the CVR library that only the librarian can access. We have the ability to purchase some one-off articles. So if you come across something that says contact your librarian for assistance, I'll get back to you and let you know if we have access to that, and send you the PDF, or I'll send you some alternative suggestions if for whatever reason we're not able to get a hold of it. I've left turned on some journals that we don't directly subscribe to, just so people can also know that they exist, in addition to us being able to purchase one-off articles. Another link that you might see at the bottom of a record is called Full Text Finder. So this is another thing I'm working with our vendors to try and make it as smooth of an experience as possible. But sometimes by clicking Full Text Finder, it's going to make you click one more time so that it'll open up into a new record. So if this article is from 2018, I'm going to try and open their 2018 editions and get to it that way. This is just one of those quirks of the library, and I'm happy to help navigate to make sure we can actually get to it if it's something that we have access to, or if it's something that I need to purchase as a one-off publication. So if you see this open page in new window, or it starts showing you all the different editions of that journal, that can just be a note to you that we need to keep clicking a little bit more. But as always, you can just email me and I can do all those clicks for you. There's another link up at the top, Ask CVR Library, which will also go to me, and you can describe what you're experiencing, and I'll troubleshoot it and try and find you what you're looking for. Some other links that you'll see at the bottom of the full collection include HTML full text and PDF full text, which are our favorites. They go directly to the full text for us, and you can read the whole article there. Or you can download the PDF if that's easier for you to save it for later, for when you have time to read it. Okay, and we can go back to the result list now. You might also see View Record In, and then there's some different websites that have even more open access materials. That's one of the bonuses of logging in. There are even more open access materials. These aren't things that I've cataloged. They're just part of our whole bundle of resources. So if you see View Record In, that will usually lead you to the full text on another website. You might also see Linked Full Text, which will be a similar redirection to where this article exists on the web. So those are the main links that you're likely to see when clicking and searching in the full collection. There are many of the same filters that we looked at before. Another useful one will be limiting to full text. So you won't see any more of those contact your librarian. These should be articles that you're able to grab right away. So you'll see there's more of these free, they're available right away kinds of articles. You can still add articles to your folder and come grab them later. If you're trying to read a number of articles at once, and they'll be available here at the folder at the top. If you want to limit just to the CVR public collection, there's also a filter for that when you're logged in. Another filter that I find myself using a lot is this source type, and a lot of the time I am looking for academic journal articles, so I'll select that, and that right away narrows down my results even more. But there might be other source types that interest you, like conference materials, reports, dissertations. So I recommend exploring those and seeing which kind of sources make the most sense for you. There are, again, subjects, so you can filter and add additional topics to your search without having to type them. And if there's a particular publication that you're interested in, you can also get results just for that journal. We can see the whole list there. So for example, one of the CVR library subscribes to trauma, violence, and abuse. So I can filter the results just to that journal. And then here we go. Now I only have 5 results, much easier to filter through. And there's the linked full text, so it'll open in a new tab and show me the full PDF. And I can add those to my folder. I can email this article to myself. Okay, so those were the main features and quirks that I wanted to demonstrate live. Now I wanted to talk just a little bit about how to log in for the full collection. Because of our grant parameters, we have funding from the Office for Victims of Crime, and so to give our library subscription vendor some number, some audience number, how many people can they expect to log into the CVR Library Collection, we decided to say that the full collection is for Victims of Crime Act funded programs. Especially with the expansion in VOCA funding, we were hoping this could just really cast the broadest net available. So if your program receives or has received Victims of Crime Act funding and you haven't yet registered for the library, you can click the Sign In button, and register. And on this page, it'll ask you which type of user you are, and you want to select the last one, VOCA-funded agency user. And from there, this form will just ask you a little bit of information about yourself, and then how you work. And then on the next page, it will ask you for your Victims of Crime Act number, so your grant number, basically. If you don't receive Victims of Crime Act funding, you still have access to the public collection. Also, if you think that the full collection would be really useful to you, please get in touch. You can contact me through the Ask a Librarian function. It's right here from the library page, or at the top you can select Contact from victimresearch.org/contact and library searches, and then I'll get back to you and we can look at some ways that we might be able to work something out. I also wanted to let you know you can use this contact form, or while you're searching the library, you can ask CVR Librarian. You can ask me for help on your searches. You can let me know you have an article title that you're having trouble finding the full text. You can send me the article title. If you just want some help thinking up some additional search terms or ways to make a really strong search, you can contact me, and I'm happy to walk through and give you some ideas and even compile some articles and describe why I selected the articles that I did. I always love diving in, and that's really what I'm here for, is to help you all find the research that already exists. So those were the main things I wanted to cover. Are there questions that people have? You can use the chat box. I can go back to the library. We can try out a different search that you've been wondering about. While we're waiting for questions, I also wanted to highlight our partner libraries. I mentioned earlier that the Center for Victim Research Library is based on the Callio model. We use the same subscriptions. The difference between the CVR library and our partner libraries is that we focus on all types of victimization, all types of victim services, and research. So there has to be a research component in the materials that are in our library. The great aspects of our partner libraries are that they focus and are really the experts on specific kinds of victimization types, specific kinds of victim services or victim rights, the criminal justice system, and so you can get some very focused results and specialized technical assistance as well. Our partner libraries also include a lot of toolkits and victim practice guides too. So if you're looking for guidelines or toolkits, I highly recommend going to our partner libraries. I also try and if our partners would have already answered a certain question, I like to make use of their expertise and direct the questions to them. So we're not the first to try and collect the evidence base into one place. We're just trying to amplify all these wonderful efforts that are available. So if you haven't visited some of our partners in the exhibit hall yet at the Virtual Institute, this is your chance to ask them some questions, explore their resources that are related to trauma and resilience, and enjoy all the free resources that are out there. Do we have any questions, Casey, or we can wrap this up? All right, great.
It doesn't look like we have any questions.
Great. I really appreciate everybody taking the time, and I hope that this quick demonstration gave you some new ideas and got you excited to search the CVR library. I'm available to you at any time. You can email, you can use the contact form. I also have the librarian inbox. It's librarian@victimresearch.org. I look forward to working with you.